So let's see, how do you plan your capture points? Uh, I'll show you what I mean. So if you look at a 3D model or a 3D tour that's already made, so the experience is not only look at this 3D model, but be able to walk through in it. So if you enter the property, starting from the entrance, now you see where you can walk up to. So each those round dots, they each represent a capture point. So if you go there, this is what you see. You are actually as if you are standing at that location. That's what the camera sees when you capture. So, so this is actually one important thing to note. You can only walk up to a capture point, which means in order to walk into each room, you will need to be able to see the next capture point, right? So I think this is very important to note. So let's say in the bathroom, if you didn't have this capture point here, you have it behind the wall, then you won't be able to see it. Or, it won't be a very good experience if you have to go through the wall to the next capture point in the bathroom. So, this is one first rule of thumb. You need to be able to see the next capture point. So in order to be able to walk into a room and continue to walk, it's best practice to put a capture point before you enter the door and right after you enter the door, right? So it'll be good to have a capture point here and capture point here. Why isn't there a capture point here? It's because, in this case, you can directly see the capture point in the bathroom, right? So, if you just can directly walk to this point and continue to walk in a different direction, in that room, or continue to walk, So this is a good capture point, because from this point you can go both ways, go to the bedroom or go to the bathroom. So again, let me say that again. So the first thing you need to remember is you need to be able to see the next capture point to enable you to continue to walk through the house. And then the second requirement is you will need to be able to see basically every corner of each room. So what that means is, okay, so here, I have this capture point. If I didn't have this capture point, I wouldn't be able to see, this side of the room. So, because, this side of the room is not available. So if I have this point, I come in here, then I can see this side of the room. So the goal is collectively, with all capture points together, we will be able to see every corner in the house. So far I've set two rules. One is you want to be able to continue to walk. You can see the next capture point. And the other requirement is collectively, with all your capture points, you can see every corner of the room, so of the house, not just one room. So let's do some kind of planning here. You see this model. This is only one floor, and you can see this is the entrance, and each room here. Let me just switch to the 2D, right? The 2D floor plan. Let's do some kind of practice here. So, like in your mind, before you do you capture for one property, you can plan, where you would capture, where will you put the capture points. So we always start from the entrance, right? So this is the first point. Then, we want to be able to go this way and go that way. Let's go this way first. So one thing we know that if you continue to walk, we want to enter the living room. So it's always a good practice to put a capture point in the middle of the room. And because I can see directly from the entrance to the living room, so it's good to have this point here. Now, if I want to walk to this room, enter this door, what I do? So I would put a dot here, right, to continue to walk in there. So the other dot is when I enter this room here. So from here, if I want to go to this bathroom, I put a dot here. If I continue to walk into the bedroom, I put a dot here, right? And then from the living room, if I want to go into this door, I would put one dot here and then one dot here, right? If I want to go to the balcony, I want to put a dot here, and then just after I go through the door, I put a dot here. So, and I can continue to walk this way. This is the, dining room area. So I can say, continue to walk here, but this, although there's no door, but it's kind of an opening, right? So like a door. So I would put a dot here, put a dot here, and then remember that we put a dot in the center of each room, right? A center of each room. Here, the bedroom, we put a dot in the center. The balcony is actually outdoors, but it's a nice feature, so we can capture the balcony as well. So actually, if you just have those capture points, it's pretty much walkable. This house, you can pretty much visit every room, continue to walk. And I think you can pretty much see every corner except for here, right? So it's hard to see this corner. So you probably want to put a dot here. But this is only a minimum requirement, right? So when I say minimum, it's just satisfy the two things that I said, enable you to continue to walk, and you can see every corner of the house. But to make it a little bit nicer, because each room you want to be able to see from different angle. So for example, this bedroom, it's a pretty big suite. So what I recommend is, so for each corner of the room, we put an capture point here. Actually, we missed one point before, because if we didn't have a point here, we wouldn't be able to see this corner, right? And the blue points is just give you some kind of a better other angles of larger spaces. And the balcony, if you want to have one on here, that's fine. Living room, if you want to have one here, so you can look this way, and then yeah, the four corners are pretty much covered. And then this dining room here, if you want to put a point here, that's fine. Kitchen, if you can access this corner, put a dot here, dot here, dot here. Those are optional, right? And in the actual space, you may not be able to get to that point because there might be cabinets or furniture in those places. But so the red dots basically tells you what are necessary, and the blue dots are better, nice to have. But actually, if they are recommended as well. Red are necessary, blues are recommended. Now, I should also mention that some of the dots at the end, when you just enter the door, those are important because for those who are familiar with photography, the best pictures would have like a very wide angle of the room. So basically, you can see kind of a large opening or wide area of the room. You can see more things. The more things you see, the better for your picture. So when you just enter the room, that gives you a very wide viewing angle of the room, and you can see a lot. But if you are just kind of in the middle of the room, then it's kind of hard to see everything. So the angle isn't as good, and so that's why those blue dots are useful, because from those places, because they're at the corner of the rooms, they can give you good angles. So when we actually create interior pictures, those are good capture points to have that can give you good angles. So this is just one example. So we will provide some practices so you can practice on your own. Now, um, again, I want to repeat the two principles. One is you want to be able to see the next capture point to enable to continue to walk in the room, right? And then the next requirement is collectively with all the capture points, you can see every corner of the house. And then recommended to take one capture point in the middle of the room, each room, and at the corners of each room, right? That will give you a lot of good viewing angles. So those things, please remember those things. Now, let's switch to stairs because the stairs are interesting to talk about. So let's view this house. It's a 3-story house and with like a floor 1, floor 2, and a basement. So the entrance is actually on the first floor. So when you are just entering this house, and there's stairs up and stairs down. So let's take a look at how you would capture the stairs. So here is the entrance. So when you just enter the door, here's the entrance. For any stairs, you would put a capture point right before you, right in front of a section of the stairs. Right. So here, you put this capture dot just in front of this section of the staircase, and you would go up at the top of this section, right? So where you can see it, you put another capture point here. Again, it's the same principle. You want to be able to see the next capture point in order to be able to walk up to there. So let's go up and see what the capture did. So here's the capture point, and that was the previous capture point. So you can, those 2 points are visible to each other. So capture here, and here is just a little step, right? But it's actually turning, So it's important to have a capture point here in order to continue to walk this way, walk the other way, because here you don't see any other points. But I'm sure that when you go to this point, more points are available, right? So if you didn't have this point, then from this stairs point, capture point, you won't be able to see this center capture point in the master bedroom. You won't be able to go there. So this is what you do with stairs. So at every turn of the stairs, you want to have a capture point. So it's just common sense. So from this point, if you want to walk down the stairs, you put a capture point here, right? So you go here, and where do you go? Because you go downstairs, so you can put a capture point there. Without that capture point, you wouldn't know where to go, right? So all the other points are invisible, are blocked, behind walls. So you definitely need this capture point to go places. Now, I know that they have another staircase to go downstairs. So this is to go downstairs. So although that we don't have a point here, but those 2 points are visible to each other. So it's okay. So sometimes you can be flexible. So the goal is to be able to see the next point, so you can walk up to it. So in this case, we were able to. So just go to this capture point, right? And then if you see up there, so that's the living room. That's the point that we walked from. And from this point, you can go this way, go this way, but without this point, then all other points are not visible. So you definitely need this point to go to other places. Come here, you see more points. Come here. So let's see another example, which has kind of more complicated stairs. Now, this property has 2 floors. So when you enter the first floor, the entrance is on the first floor. When you enter, now here is the stairs. So let's just continue to walk up the stairs and see what it's like. And it turns, right? It's not the second floor yet. So this is like between first floor and second floor. There's the first turn, then the second turn, and then like the third turn, right? This is the third turn, and then you get to the second floor. So in order to be able to walk up, again, it's common sense, right? So, from the top of the stairs, you would need a capture point on this little turn or little platform in order to be able to walk down. So just put a capture point here, right? Capture point in here, and then put another capture point in here. But this is interesting here. Although this is the same kind of turn or platform, we already have a capture point here, which enable you to see, up, from this point, those 2 points are visible. But you will need another capture point on the same platform, same turn, this point, right? Because without this point, those 2 points are not visible to each other. So in order to be able to walk down from here to here, you need this point, right? Because they are not directly visible to each other. So again, this is just common sense. If you just need to see the next spot to be able to walk to, right? And then another. So yeah, this is how you do stairs. And I would mention one thing. When you're doing the capture in the app, if you notice on the interface, there is a floor selection. So on the left side of your screen, you can choose the name of your room. So it gives you a list of the room, the names. But on the right side, it says floors. And there are some pre-created floors like numbers 1, 2, 3, just like the first floor, second floor, third floor. And I think there are basements as well. But 2 things. You can customize the names. As with the room names, you can always customize it. Because if you don't see something there, you can always customize it, enter your own, and save it for your particular capture point. And another thing is, I want to say, because there are so many points in between floors, you have first floor and second floor, but all those turns or the platforms, which floor do they belong to? The rule of thumb that I've been using is that if you haven't got to the second floor, it belongs to the floor below. So, this is the first floor. When you go here, this is still first floor, still first floor, still first floor, still first floor. When you get to here, you want to change the floor to the second floor, right? So just, anything that's not really the next floor belongs to the same floor. I think for captures, it's basically interior captures. Just remember those things, the principles. Let me repeat them again. You want to be able to see the next capture point, right? The next capture point to continue to walk. You want to collectively see, with all capture points, you can see every corner of your house, which means every corner of each room, right? And it's recommended to put a capture point before and after you enter a door, and put a capture point in the middle of the room, and also at each corner of the room whenever possible. But some capture points can be omitted because say you can see the next point, right? So you wouldn't need 2 points so close to each other. So use your common sense to plan your capture points. And then for the stairs, when we saw different kind of stairs examples, you just, again, it's the common sense. You want to be able to see the next capture point, usually at the, each end of each street section of the staircase. But if the stairs are more complicated, they turn. you put a capture point at each turn in order to be able to see the next point and to be able to walk up to it. And then if the turn is more complicated, you won't be, if you need an actual point to be able to walk down, then put an actual point here. Right, so that's basically it. So this is about the capturing the interior of the house. I have another introduction for capturing the exterior of the house. But here, let me just add one thing. If this house has a patio or a balcony or anything, we usually capture it as part of the interior capture. Let me find an example. For example, there's a balcony here on the basement, in the basement. Let me go to this bedroom. So, so the balcony is right here. So if I go to this point, I see the balcony, and then from the living room, from here, there are a couple of doors to lead to the balcony. So if this is a very interesting section or feature of the house, we do capture it. The way to capture it is exactly the same as a room. So basically, you put about before and after you like on each side of the door. So when you go to the balcony here, and then if it's a large space, you can probably put some other capture points here. In this case, we have the balcony, this capture point in here. So this doesn't mean that they will be counted as exterior photos, because they can be made as part of the 3D tour of the interior of the 3D tour, but combined with some kind of patio, balcony, and outdoor features. That's it, and thank you.